Good morning, it is Jane with Scraptastic Yarns, and I do have one finished item. Updates on things, whips, of course, a couple of tips, and some acquisitions. Yes, I will tell you about the one acquisition I did get. I don't think I actually showed you guys what it was. You know, sometimes things just get away from me. Someone was kind enough to send me Santa box or Santa mystery bag, whatever it was. And of course inside that, and I'll be honest, I may have shown you it, I just don't remember it. So just go with the old lady memory, okay? One was the Twisted Cotton Yarn Blend, and that is in the black and white. The other was the Boogie Nights in the Royal Flush with that pretty little twinkle that's in there. And then the other was the Mandala Twist or Tweed Twist. Mandala Tweed Stripe, sorry. In the Wishbone. And now, the Wishbone, I have not yet started the blanket, but that is the one item that I was planning on making a blanket. And as you remember, I told you a couple days ago, a week ago, about the yarn that was all over the place in New Jersey, here, back and forth, and everywhere else. Well, it did finally show up, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but those are footsteps all over that bag. Shoe marks. So apparently, it was soft enough for them to walk on, they just couldn't find it. Right? I mean, come on. Seriously? What were you thinking? Now, I am going to give you a little tip here. As you know, I had been using the Yarn Swift with some of my cakes, or some of my hanks to wind them up into balls, cakes. And of course, for the Prayer Shawl Ministry, we were winding up some of the yarn that was donated to us. But I wanted to show you this little tip that we've been doing. What we do when we start to wind the ball is we take a pony bead and tie it on the end and tape it on the end. I hope you could see that. So that basically when you get done, you have a yarn cake that has your pull for the center pull. It's a lot of fun, tell me. And of course you can get the pony beads for $1 at the Dollar Tree. You know, they're plastic, it's no big deal. I had started doing that on my own, and then we were doing that with the Prayer Shawl Ministry for those because it was just a big help with those kind of things. Now for my acquisitions, I did order the Luxus for Die Hand, Indulge Your Hands, in that pretty little blue flower print. And what I got these for is, I have had a lot of people tell me that when they crochet with the scrubby yarn, that it scratches the tulips or their clovers. So I thought, I'll just use these. And these are ergonomic, and they're not too bad. They're very nice. It's not too hard a plastic. Feels comfortable in the hand with the knife. And, you know, it's got a little on the end where the, it's not smoothed out, but, you know, emery board will take care of that. So I got those for the scrubby yarns when I'm crocheting that. I think this was $8, $10. Wasn't very much. So, yeah, nice. Now, for the month of May, and I'm not including the yarn that I'm using to crochet or knit today, my total yardage was 8,991 yards. And there are the labels, and a lot of those are the worsted weight labels from the Dollar Tree. And I'm fixing to show you the blanket I made for $15 worth of the Dollar Tree yarn. Our prayer shawl ministry this month is doing red, white, and blue blankets. And this is 5 skeins of the red, 5 skeins of the white, and 5 skeins of royal blue. And this is a nice size blanket. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to show you where it comes up to me. Touches the ground, comes up to my nose. So that's a good size afghan. And that is a finished item. We'll go to prayer shawl this month to be put in for our veterans. We decided we were going to start veterans so that we could hand those out Veterans Day or near Veterans Day to some of our veterans facilities, some of the events where veterans are being honored, veterans in different churches if they've asked for them, just as a way to say thank you for everything that you did. And of course, you know, today, yesterday was Memorial Day. So, thank you for all that you, the Gold Star families, have given us. The gift of your loved one who, worked so hard and sacrificed themselves for our freedoms. A lot of people laugh at that because they don't think, well, you're not in war. When you're looking at terrorism, you're always at war. So these men have stepped up, men and women have stepped up, and some of them have lost their lives in the line of duty. And I want to thank you and your Gold Star families for your sacrifice. So thank you. Now, the other acquisition I got came from Cheryl at Bolt's Bags. And it is fabric, and I am going to show you the fabric. This fabric is just lots of little kitty cats. And then this one is a paisley. And I got both of these to make into bags. Now I haven't got them made into it. But of course Cheryl included tea with each one. And of course she always sends me a note for Thomas. Something like, "Hi Thomas, stay strong, stay well. We love you. Thank you so much." And I know she does because she's an extremely loving person. So Cheryl, I consider it an honor to be a friend of yours. Okay. Now, let's get updates on the Nan's Next Knots. This was the second blanket that I had started with my color, and the number was number 6. Number 6 was navy with the cream colored. So there's my navy, and I'm really enjoying this. Now this next one is the one that I did in the black as my base color. And the color number 6 on it was the soft gold. So here is that blanket. And this one I am doing for the full 20 weeks, and then I will put a border on it. and then it will most likely go for the gatehouse or hospice or something like that. Possibly one of the nursing homes. The nursing homes, we normally just give lap robes or shawls, just because that's really what they ask for more with us, with our group. With the exception of, they ask for catheter bags. And they always send that to the main, which I find funny. They always send that to the main senior center person, that director, and I've told them, I've sent them email after email, because I don't get their request until maybe 3 months later from this gal, just because of how busy she is, and she can't remember who's doing it, although you'd think she would know. I mean, really. Her name is Jane, mine is Jane. You'd think she'd remember that. But she eventually gives me the item so that I know I need to make catheter bags. Now, with the nursing home that is near us, Susquehanna Nursing Home, or Susqueview is what it's called, their person has a note in their file that tells them to ask me directly. They purchased a big old cone of elastic for me to use, and I just use my scrap fabrics and make catheter covers with those. But for some reason they just can't keep track of that. You know, but oh well, eventually I'll get the request. It'll come along. Now, I did start the hat that I was volunteered to make. One of them. And this is just a basic Ross beanie. And I'm doing it in Heartland in the color Olympic. I love this color. Now, this is the very beginning of the Ross hat. Haven't gotten very far. Started it last night. So I'm going to work a little bit more on that and get that all finished up and ready to go. That's it for objects, you know, that I've gotten done and that I've started for now. I am starting another red, white, and blue blanket, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that when I get to the video 6 patterns on my bucket list. Yeah, I'm just finally getting around to doing it. And this afternoon I'm going to watch my J movie, so look forward to seeing that fairly soon. Because apparently I was ahead of everybody and I was told to slow my horses, slow my jets. So I slowed my jets. And of course, you know, for our child lately, I think we spend anywhere from 10 to 15 hours weekly working on it. And the week before, which it comes up this Wednesday, we spend a little more time on it. So there you go. Alright, are you ready for a little bit of what in tarnation? Because I have a couple of cute stories. And most of these involve animals because I just felt like it was Animal Week. You know. Kayaker rescues red squirrel under attack from spawning bass in river. A man fishing on a New Brunswick, Canada river noticed some unusual activity in the water and ended up rescuing a red squirrel struggling with some bass. Matt Meyer said he was fishing for striped bass on the Miramichi River when he saw a group of bass splashing at the surface of the water. I was watching something splash, and all of a sudden I looked to the side and I thought, what is that in the middle of this spawning activity? Myers told CBC News. He said initially he thought the bass were attacking a stick, but then he realized they were nipping at an animal. Lo and behold, it's this little poor squirrel, red squirrel, right in the middle of all this spawning activity, Meyer said. The bass appeared to be coming up and nipping at it. So Meyer used his paddles to scoop the squirrel up onto his kayak and gave it a ride back to shore. He said the fish had likely confused the squirrel's splashing for a female preparing to lay her eggs. I don't think they were trying to eat it, Meyer said. But seriously, do they nip at the female when she's trying to lay her eggs? This next one happened in my very own state, on the Susquehanna River. Escaped pet alligator captured while floating in Pennsylvania River. Didn't know we had those little alligators, did ya? An escaped alligator spotted swimming in Pennsylvania's Susquehanna River was captured Friday morning and returned to its owner. The Find Toby in PA Facebook group for lost pets posted a photo Friday morning showing the alligator floating in the river. And I can guarantee you there aren't too many of them in our rivers. The reptile, described as tame and legal pet alligator, was caught on video floating near the John Wright restaurant in Wrightsville, Lancaster County area. Neighbors said the alligator, named Oscar, was successfully captured and returned to its owner in the late morning. Mike Parker, communications director for the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, said alligators are legal to own in Pennsylvania. What I want to know is, do you snuggle up with the alligator? Now, as you know, when I was growing up, I lived in Fort Smith, Arkansas for a little while. Or maybe you didn't know that. After my mother passed away, we moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas to be near my grandparents on my father's side. And quite often my Aunt Libby would take us to the Crater of Diamonds. I always wanted to look for diamonds, and I did continue to look for diamonds whenever I could, whenever we went there. But someone had a huge discovery. Crater of Diamonds visitor makes 2.2 carat discovery. A Washington State man's 3 days of searching at Arkansas Crater of Diamonds State Park paid off when he uncovered a 2.2 carat yellow diamond. Chris Lydon, 26, of Poulsbo, I think that's how you pronounce it, Washington, said he has been on a long-time quest to find raw materials to make his own engagement ring. And he came to Crater of Diamonds after 5 years of panning for enough gold in Washington to make the band. Lydon said he and a friend had been searching the park for 3 days when he made a big discovery, May the 9th. I saw it shining as soon as I turned the screen over and immediately knew it was a diamond. I was shaking so bad. I asked my buddy to grab it out of the gravel for me, Lydon told park officials. He took the gem to the park's Diamond Discovery Center, where it was identified as a 2.2 yellow diamond. The largest discovery at the park since a 4.49 carat yellow diamond was found in October 2020. Mr. Lydon's diamond is light yellow with a triangular shape and a sparkling metallic luster. Like most diamonds from the park, it contains a few inclusions, making it a one-of-a-kind, said Drew Emmons, the park's assistant superintendent. As beautiful as this diamond is, I think the best part is the story behind it, Edmonds said. Since the 8th grade, Mr. Lydon has dreamed of creating a special ring for his future wife with stones and gold he mined himself. And now he can make that dream come true. And I'm tearing up, guys. Good grief. Lydon said he hadn't expected to make such a significant find at the park. I was just hoping to find a couple smaller stones and had planned to buy a center stone later. But that won't be needed now, he said. And truly indeed it will not. We have another squirrel story. Every time I find a squirrel story, I think of Dee. Rare piebald squirrel spotted in Colorado tree. Wildlife officials in Colorado shared photos of a rare piebald squirrel spotted in a tree near Denver. Colorado Parks and Wildlife Northeast Region said in a Twitter post that Jerry Baines spotted the unusually colored squirrel west of Denver and snapped photos. The piebald squirrel has normal brown and gray fur on its tail and underside, but white fur on its head and back. That is a genetic mutation causing varying amounts of white hair. Some can be almost white, pure white, while others just carry patches of white, the department tweeted. And we've nicknamed it the albino squirrel in our neighborhood. Haven't seen him this year yet, though. This next story, when you go to look at the link with the video, it just completes the story. Kitten trapped under vehicle goes through car wash before rescue. Police in New York said a kitten trapped under a vehicle went through a car wash before being discovered by the driver and rescued by authorities. The Cheektowaga, hope that I pronounced that correctly, police department said the driver had made an approximately 10-mile drive from Buffalo to Cheektowaga, gone through a car wash and parked at a mall before a bystander heard the kitten meowing in distress under the vehicle. A pair of police officers were called to the scene and climbed under the vehicle to rescue the feline. The owner of the vehicle said she did not know where the kitten could have come from, as she doesn't own a cat. The kitten was taken to SPCA for care. And it's a little tuxedo kitty. Those have a special place in my heart. That is it for What in Tarnation. That is it for Scraptastic Yarns podcast today. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you again soon. And remember, choose kindness. It works.